Hello everyone. In this video, welcome everyone to my channel. In this video, I will speak about the financial interpretations of the two of the most important financial institutions in the world, because this is for the United States. And they have rippling effects, whatever they do, all over the world. So it is important to know how the astrology, the transits right now are falling on these charts. So I will talk about the Federal Reserve natal chart and the New York Stock Exchange. So getting started, I will try to do fast and concise, so we don't go all over the place. I will try to be methodical, even though Mercury is in Pisces and retrograde. So I will kind of challenge that challenge, especially taking into account that Mercury is the ruler of my chart. However, I will make the effort, and I will like to do a disclaimer saying that I am not a financial specialist at all. I am not a financial astrologer either. I will just interpret the archetypes. So you make your own interpretations. If you know the financial situation, you can associate the archetypes of the astrology with what is going on. So let's take the Federal Reserve chart, December 23rd, 1913. It's a Tuesday, the day of Mars. Coincidentally, Mars is on the ascendant. And the time was 1802 or 6:02 p.m. in Washington, D.C. Okay, so as I said, Mars is on the ascendant in Cancer, marking the importance of the Federal Reserve to watch over the country, the safety of the country. So is the ascendant is ruled by the moon. This is a night chart, which makes the moon the most important because it is the planet of the sect. However, the moon is in the sign of Scorpio, opposite her favorite home in Taurus. So she is not very happy, but it indicates the financial importance of this institution, because Scorpio, it talks about everything that has to do with shared resources, and that's what it is for this institution. However, even though the moon is not too happy in this sign, but she has favorable aspects. She is trining the north node, sextiling the south node, and trining the ascendant and Mars. So in a way, is trining her own sign, so it compensates. Now, the midheaven is at 0 degrees of Aries, which already jumps up to the most recent events. We will see the chart comparison with the transits, and we will see the effects. Now, it has this huge square. The sun, as I said, it's a night chart opposite Pluto, indicating the power that the maximum authority in this institution has. or the opposition that it has from the powers that be that are affecting his work or position. So at the same time, they're both squaring the midheaven. So this is the big challenge this institution has, because the maximum authority in this case is Jerome Powell, and he has a challenge to work with the public and even the global public, since every decision that is taken in this country affects everywhere. What other thing I wanted to say? Talked about the sun, the moon, the north node. The north node is in the ninth house, which relates to the influence it has in international arena. The other point to illustrate is this opposition between Mercury to Saturn. And Mercury is also in conjunction with Venus. So every communication is being thwarted or hindered or restrained from behind the scenes. Of course, any communications, Mercury, about the values or the value that this institution works with, have an international Sagittarius influence. So there needs to be a very serious and very formal way of communicating. So I have my own Mercury opposing Saturn, and let me tell you, is very formal, very trying to obey the rules and follow the rules when one speaks and communicates. That's the most important traits. And now I will combine this chart with the transits happening right now. So let me see. One little moment. I will put the charts. Okay, here we are. This is today's chart at the time when I am recording. So as you can see, all the planets are on top, at the top of the chart here. In the center, we have the Federal Reserve chart, and outside the transits. So all the public eyes are put on this institution. Especially with the North Node here in the ninth house. It is the international events are I don't know, influencing, or maybe the Federal Reserve is aiming to influence. In any case, the North Node is in the ninth house, meaning the effect that it has in the international relations or international dealings. Now, the chart has the nodal return, affirming or confirming the aim it has. Right now, the Sun has passed the conjunction with the North Node about 1 week ago or so. And Mercury is now retrograde, so it will be back over the North Node. And Mars, which is the most important, Mars is applying to conjunct the North Node, meaning that any decision, any move, any action will be exponentially affecting the foreign relations. So another thing that is happening is Jupiter is transiting the ascendant. Pretty soon it will be conjunct the ascendant, conjunct Mars. So this is incrementing or increasing or expanding the role or the institution of the Federal Reserve in itself. So when it conjoins Jupiter conjoins Mars, it indicates increasing action, movement, changes, and they may be very impulsive. So, and we are already uh, seeing what is coming, right? As I said, it's a night chart. The sun is below the horizon. In Capricorn, it indicates that usually the president or the authority, the maximum authority in this institution is either an older person or a very experienced person. I don't think that this can allow a young person, but who knows? The ruler Saturn is in the 12th house, in Gemini. So it is restricting also the duality that might come up. Um, Anyways, but I think the most important that is happening to this chart, the most important transit is the Saturn-Neptune conjunction on the midheaven at 0 Aries. And Neptune is now squaring the Sun, which since the summer when Saturn and Neptune were around here, um, around the midheaven, we heard news about the differences in kind of aggressive talks that the president had against Jerome Powell, and the threatening to remove him, etc. That was last year. Now the subject has come up again. There is a candidate to replace him as soon as his term is over. So we see this. I think the Saturn Neptune indicates a powerful restructuring of the public role, midheaven, of this institution, and it will have, of course, it was squaring, and it is now Neptune squaring the Sun perfectly, 1 degree 33, and the Sun is 1 degree 32 minutes. So, so we see this influence the person or the position of the authority in the institution. The Venus, Venus is here in the 10th house, and it is already applying to square the ascendant, 18 degrees of Cancer, on March the 20th. That's the exact day when Mercury will turn direct in Pisces at 8 degrees together with the North Node. I think that will be decisive about news that will be very important for this institution. Venus will square next the natal Mars at 19 Cancer on March 21st, and Venus will square Neptune on March 29th. So these dates will be crucial, especially for the values. Venus rules the 11th house of the maybe legislation affecting this institution. It also Venus also rules the IC and the fourth house, which is the foundations. So there could be, with this Venus squaring the ascendant, Mars, and Neptune, it could be some powerful restructuring of the foundations, maybe completely change it. And Okay, and that's it for this. I will now share the other chart, which is the New York Stock Exchange. Here it is. Okay, so the New York Stock Exchange was founded on a Thursday, a day of Jupiter, indicating the implication, the global or international implications. May 17, 1792 at 10 a.m. in New York. And so I will later compare both institutions, but for now, what I want to say is that the ascendant is Leo and the ruler is the Sun. And what is interesting is that Leo talks about gold and powerful people, but Uranus is indicating this nature of the stock exchange of volatility, coming up, coming down, and a constant changing. However, the Sun in Taurus indicates a certain level of stability. So the midheaven at 0 Taurus, and okay, so Saturn is also close to the midheaven, even though out of sign. And we have Mercury that is all about communications and the resources, the second house. It is square Pluto. So there is a powerful, the power of the communication, the power of the news coming from this institution that is actually affecting the whole world. So now I will show the transits as I did with the Federal Reserve. We will do New York Stock Exchange and today's transits. And we will show by wheel and share. Okay. So here we have both, and again, we see the most activity is on the southern hemisphere, the top of the chart. So the ascendant, as I said, is Leo, and we have the Sun at 24th of Pisces, and the transiting Sun. But I think one of the most important transits, of course, there are always the slow-moving planets, and is Uranus. Uranus has been on top of the sun, 27 degrees, for since the end of December, all the month of January, all the month of February, and so far it moved to the 28 degrees on March 11th. So more than 2 months and a half, probably on top of this sun, which rules the ascendant. So it has given this increasing volatility to the institution because it's affecting um, the uh, the ascendant. And once Uranus moves through Gemini, it will sextile this Uranus. So there will be changes. The other thing is the natal Jupiter here. It's interesting because it is conjunct the ascendant of Israel. So you make your own conclusions because Jupiter has this um, archetypal meaning of expansion and increase. The other important transit was the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. And right now, the midpoint between Saturn and Neptune is coinciding or conjuncting the South Node, marking uh, debilitation of structures and dissolution of structures that relate to foreign business. So we can count on a decrease of business. I would say I have heard from different countries that many companies are closing doors, are moving away, or completely disappearing. And so there is an economic restriction at the moment, and many big companies are, for example, closing different plants, reducing staff, reducing expenses. And if you look at international news, you will find out that there is a shrinking businesses. And I will explain what is coming up later in the video. But this is very important, the Saturn Neptune on the South Node. And Neptune will be alone on the South Node pretty soon, even though Saturn will move away. Saturn will come in square Ceres, for example, square Chiron. So it will be a very significant transit. So Saturn will also later in next year oppose Jupiter, which furthers the contractions of whatever Jupiter rules, which is in this case the fifth house of investments and things that are the creation of businesses, etc. So the other thing I wanted is the sun. It is um, a week ago or so, about 6 or 7 days ago, was opposing Mars. So that was significant, and you might have seen events, important events about the shares that were either bought or sold. I don't know, but you can go back a week ago and see what events correlated in the stock exchange with this opposition, but Mars is coming to the opposition as well. So whatever conflicts there are will affect the resources that are handled by this institution, because Mars, the natal Mars is in the second house of resources, and the transiting Mars is in the eighth house of shared resources, meaning that it governs the investments that this institution handles. Let me see my notes here. Um, oh, another important thing is that the transit of Pluto here in Aquarius on the seventh house, it is squaring pretty soon the Venus and at the midheaven. It already squared the midheaven, which is the public role, um, the role of the stock exchange and business and the public life. It has already squared for several years. In fact, about 2 years already, since 2023. It has transformed and regenerated this institution. Now it comes up to, let me tell you the date. I have here the ephemeris. So Pluto touches the fifth degree, or the 5 degree, sorry, the 5 degree and 30 minutes, where so it enters the 5 degree on the 20th of March, and it comes to 5 degrees 30 minutes the end of April. So you can count on Venus represents values, it represents money, everything that is desired, right? And she will be very much affected, and she is already, by this Pluto. And this Pluto is in the house of the others. So meaning those alliances or those agreements or contracts that this institution has with investors, for example. And they are in profound transformation. And those contracts will affect Venus, meaning that Venus rules the midheaven. It will affect the role of this institution. It will also affect the third house of communications and the system that they use in order to do the transactions, etc., that is included in the communications. So both things will be affected. And this Pluto in Aquarius may represent internet hackings and powerful powers on the networks that will affect the overall institution of the stock exchange. So let me see if I have something else in my notes, and that's it. I also wanted to compare both the Feds and the stock exchange. So give me a minute, and I will put both charts together so you can see them and how they relate to each other. So in the center, we have the Federal Reserve, and outside, we have the stock exchange. So, first thing first, the ascendant Mars of the Federal Reserve is square the moon on the stock exchange. So there is conflict between the changes, the daily changes in the stock exchange and the actions of the Federal Reserve. We know that the Federal Reserve needs to be adjusting to what is happening with the stock exchange. Then the moon of the stock exchange is in conjunct the moon of the Feds. This has from Aries to Scorpio. It has a powerful transformation, but it needs adjustment between both daily works, let's say. So then the Pluto, natal Pluto in the Federal Reserve here at 0 degrees of Cancer is directly squaring the nodal axis here. This is the north node of the stock exchange. This is the south node, and Pluto is applying to the square. So this is called a wobble or a point of oscillation. So Pluto is in this point where things have to change direction, let's say. So Pluto has the power to uh, uh, exercise its influence on the direction the stock exchange is going. So also Mars in the stock exchange, let's see here, Mars here from the chart of the stock exchange is conjuncting the south node. So meaning that the south node has a power to decrease, to drain, to hamper and subdue the actions of taken in the stock exchange. So probably the administration and rules that has the Federal Reserve may have an influence on the stock exchange. And that's all for that. Now I would like to share another thing, which is that the nodal axis, the transiting nodal axis, is by mid-year, around June or maybe July, I'll find out, will change signs. So let me find the chart and I will show you immediately. Um, so there are important events, very crucial events that will happen on beginning of July. But I wanted to show you this because it's related to the finances. So the nodes change to North Node Aquarius, South Node Leo on July 26, 2026, 8:47 p.m. New York. And this is the chart, right? According to McWhirter, is called Louise McWhirter, the theory of business cycles. There are cycles between 18.6 and 19 years that repeat themselves. that show how the business activity goes up and down. So when she says that when the nodal axis is in Aquarius Leo in this way, north node in Aquarius, south node in Leo, this is the maximum extreme of low activity in business and enterprise. So this is the bottom of the cycle. So when the activity is the least and the less. So on the contrary, when the North Node, which is this symbol, goes to Leo, it is the maximum point of activity. So now, from the sign of Pisces, we are coming to the bottom of the cycle, and we have several issues here because we also have Pluto that will enter out of bounds on August the 12th, right right on the day of an eclipse. And if I'm not mistaken, the eclipse is on 20 degrees of Leo. It is a solar eclipse, 20 degrees of Leo, with Pluto out of bounds. And if you like to know more about out of bounds, you need to watch my previous videos where I explain what that is. Now, there are several factors, astrological factors that are crucial on this day, July 26th. One of them is the opposition between the Sun conjunct Jupiter and Pluto. This is very powerful, is the culmination of a cycle between Jupiter and Pluto that started in the year 2020. This cycle was, this conjunction happened 3 times. If you remember, it was 2020, end of 2020 or something like that. And it happened 3 times. Now we have like if you see the full moon, right? The culmination, the opposition when the moon is opposed to the sun. Well, this is the same. Jupiter is opposing Pluto, marking the culmination, the maximum potential of what was seeded in 2020. So we will see that. Now, it is helped by these 2 planets, Uranus and Neptune, and this is super rare. It is extremely rare because having all these outer planets at the same degree, forming this configuration that is called the basket. The basket contains things, right? And this is very rare, as I said, and having the Jupiter and the Sun also in this configuration is unique in history. Probably it has never happened, probably, or if it has happened, it has been approximately, but I am pretty sure that it never happened in these signs. So we have a very dynamic energy because all these signs are masculine. Aquarius, the Leo, Gemini, and Aries are masculine signs, meaning that we go forward, we are extroverted and we do things more intensely than we have when we have feminine signs. So this is very intense energy, and I cannot predict what this is going to be associated with, but it's a very significant event that we have never ever seen in the whole humanity history. We also have the square between Venus and Mars. So Venus is our desires, and Mars is the actions we take with our desires. There is also another. Is the moon is also at 5 degrees, is in conjunct the Jupiter and Sun, and is squaring Neptune. So in the public, because the moon represents the people, the public, there will be a lot of confusion. Neptune will give this confusion. And Uranus will give the moon the volatility, the anxiety, and we can analyze one by one these aspects. I won't do that in this video, but once we are close to July, we will analyze this. Anyways, this is to show you that the North Node in Aquarius will mark a downturn in the economy because it is associated with the previous periods where every 18 and a half or 19 years we had a downturn. And let me go back to history. For example, this happened from January 2008 to August 2009. It was the Great Recession, the subprime crisis, and all that. It was the collapse of the Lehman Brothers, right? So, and this happened for the whole world. Now, the previous time, 19 years before, was December 87 to May 89. This was the post Black Monday and a deep crisis and bankruptcies and real estate area. It was paralyzed, and it was also a credit crisis. Previous time, 19 years prior to that, it was April 69 to October 1970. And that was associated with the reception during the Nixon presidency. It was an stagflation, and previous time it was August 1950 to March 1952. That was the recession associated with the Korean War. There was a huge contraction of the economy. There was price control and other measures that were taken to cope with it. Previous time to that was the Great Depression, December 1931 to June 1933. It was the period, the lowest of the Depression. The unemployment reached almost 25%, and the commerce, the business was a total collapse. So as you see, every 19 or 18 and a half years, this is happening. So I don't know if this is happening this time because of this configuration that it will repeat this small trine between Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus will repeat over the years 2027, 2028. Over the summer, they will have the small trine at different degrees. It will happen next at 6 degrees and then 8 degrees, and then starts to dissipate. But this might save the world from deep crisis. We don't know, or maybe this is a deeper one. We don't know because we need to wait and see how to correlate. The events that actually happen with the transiting planets. But nonetheless, I will share with you the combination of this chart with the stock exchange, and let's see what it shows. So share. This is the combined. Okay, so in the middle we have the chart of the stock exchange, and outside we have the transits. Okay, so midheaven, on top of that, Chiron will be conjunct the midheaven of the stock exchange, showing vulnerability. Now, we have these planets at 4 and 5 degrees, and we have the Sun and Jupiter are squaring Venus, and we have Pluto still now retrograde, still squaring Venus. And Venus, as I said, is the ruler of the midheaven of the stock exchange. So we will have this Sun opposite Pluto square the Venus and the midheaven. Plus, the Sun will be with Jupiter. So we may have an authority who has a big ego with a lot of power opposing him. Affecting the stock exchange. So, as I said, we don't know what will happen, but it's just a very highly unusual transit. As I showed you, slow moving planets don't make this configuration every other day. It happens probably millennia. We don't know when this happened before. We know that these three planets were in the small trine 6,000 years ago. In this kind of configuration, and having on top of that the opposition Sun, Jupiter, and Pluto, no, that's something that we haven't seen before. So nothing that is going on at the moment can be associated with anything in history. We are living a completely different historical events. We can all agree on that. This Neptune on the south node will have for years. It's been since last summer, as I said. It will continue for a couple of years, affecting within orb of the south node, draining, weakening this international influence. What else can we see? The transiting Venus is conjunct exactly the Mars, the natal Mars of the stock exchange. What other things? I think I can share this chart, the transits to the Federal Reserve. If you give me a minute, we can combine. we can combine the Federal Reserves and this and show by will. Here it is. The Federal Reserve is in the middle and the transit is outside. So the Pluto is on top of Uranus, something that only happens every 248 or 250 years. Neptune is on the midheaven. Uranus is here. Well, it's not exact. It's about 8 degrees or yeah, 8 degrees. But it's approaching the conjunction with the natal Saturn. Now, Mercury is on the ascendant. And the Sun and Jupiter is also opposing this Uranus. So I would say the main influence on the Federal Reserve will be from Pluto and the Sun with Jupiter on the natal Uranus. And again, this is the house of the shared resources governed by Saturn, natally in the 12th house. But we have the transiting Saturn here on the 10th house. And I think this is enough information for this video. I hope you get some insights from it and plan accordingly. So this year will be a year to remember, as well as 2020. So I think big events and powerful transformations will happen in the world that will affect us personally. So if you need advice, please contact your trusted professional astrologer. I do consultations, so don't hesitate to contact me. If you need guidance throughout this year, I appreciate your watching and I hope you subscribe and you give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.